In mammals, including humans, the main purpose of the nipple is to help nurse the offspring. This function is so important to organisms like us that it is considered one of our defining features. Yet, men and other male mammals are generally incapable of breastfeeding babies even though they have nipples. So why do men have nipples? And do they serve any purpose? Let's find out. According to experts, in the early stages of embryonic development, all human embryos look the same. Sure, some may have the XY chromosome pair while others have the XX chromosome pair, but this does not seem to make a difference in their respective developments until a bit later. Essentially, then, all human embryos start their lives with the potential to turn into either of the biological sexes. This then means that both male and female embryos develop rudimentary forms of breasts and nipples in the first few weeks. But soon after, the Y chromosome, if an embryo contains it, activates an essential gene on it called the SRY gene. This gene is critical to the development of male characteristics in the embryo. It acts as a transcription factor, binding with specific sections of DNA and controlling certain genes, and provides instructions to produce the sex-determining region Y protein. This protein is involved in the process of male sex development and ensures that male embryos form testicles instead of a uterus and fallopian tubes. However, there's not much it can do about features that have already been developed. Consequently, the male embryo simply retains the breast and nipple tissues it possesses. The fact is, that evolution and natural selection are more complex than we realize. This then means that these processes do not always work with a specific goal in view. In nature, it is common to find organisms that are far from perfectly adapted. This can be seen in the case of sharks since they do not have gas bladders to control their buoyancy despite being aquatic organisms. Yet, it would be wrong to say that these creatures have not been subjected to evolution or natural selection. Natural selection, therefore, is a purely random process, and it is hard to guarantee that it will eventually remove all traits that do not serve a purpose. As a result, many organs, such as the male's nipples, continue to exist despite their apparent lack of function. Also, having nipples does not seem to actively hurt men. So, even if evolution were to get rid of this trait, it is likely not going to be a priority. Now question: do male nipples actually serve a purpose? Before you leave here thinking male nipples are pointless, we'd like to set the record straight. Yes, male nipples typically do not have a role to play in breastfeeding the young ones, but they do serve as erogenous zones in humans. Studies have shown that nipples respond to sexual stimulation in both men and women. According to one such study, about half of the male test subjects reported that stimulation of the nipples caused or enhanced their sexual arousal. Of course, this number was higher in the female test subjects, with around 80% of them saying it caused or enhanced their sexual arousal. But it still proves that male nipples have at least some function attributed to them. In another rare occurrence, a 1990 study reported that a heterosexual man actually requested the enlargement of his breasts and nipples. His reasoning was that it caused him great sexual excitement to stimulate those parts of his body and he felt incomplete without them.